This man has been trying to leave the island, but every time, he's been stopped by this red turtle. It uses its hard shell to destroy the raft. He thought he was about to be attacked too. The red turtle stops, looking at him in fear. The red turtle chooses to leave. The man wonders why it stopped him from leaving. The man was filled with hatred for it. He roared at the sea. Just then, he saw the red turtle crawling up the beach. The man felt he had a chance to let his anger out, so he quickly ran down the cliff, and got a stick and beat it against its solid shell. But it didn't do much damage to the red turtle, so he turned it inside out. So he flipped the turtle upside down. Then he jumped up and spit on it, to get a good dose of the sun's heat. And yet, even without the red turtle, the man still couldn't escape the island, and he didn't hate it so much. Instead, he slowly began to regret what he had done. As time passes, loneliness made him decide to be friendly with the red turtle. He could no longer move its body. A sense of helplessness makes him fumble. He's going to the beach to fetch water for him, and pouring it into his mouth. But nothing seems to work. Panting, the man knelt in front of it and cried. Maybe the island was the man's home, but he was too young to realize it. He didn't think he needed it either. Suddenly, one night, the man heard a cracking sound, and when he looked closer, he realized it was the shell of a red sea turtle cracking. At that moment, the man felt like a lonely seabird. The sea would be his only companion. But when he looked back at the red sea turtle, he found an amazing sight. He couldn't believe what he saw. The man touched her arm. It turns out there was a beautiful woman underneath. He turned his head and listened for a heartbeat. He took a bamboo tube and brought her water, but the woman didn't respond. Until the morning sun rose, she didn't wake up. The man was worried that she would be burned by the sun. He went to the bamboo forest and found some branches to create a shade for her. Looking at her tired face, the man's heart was filled with indescribable feelings. From then on, he didn't build another raft to go out to sea. Instead, he surrounded her every day and took good care of her. Maybe he had a place to put his emotions and heart. He had a place to belong, so he could enjoy the beautiful scenery from afar. On this day, it was raining lightly on the island. The man wanted to find a branch to protect her from the rain, but when the woman touched the rain, she woke up. She had the consciousness and mind of a human being. She hid in fear of further violence from the man. When the man realized she was gone, he searched everywhere, but he searched the entire island without finding the woman. One morning, he woke up on the beach. The figure in the sea was the redhead. He realized that she probably had no clothes on, so she hid in the sea. The man signaled her not to be afraid. He took off his shirt and put it on the beach. Then he went into the bamboo forest alone. He climbed up to where he first saw the red turtle. As he looked around, it was just as he thought it would be. He saw the red-haired woman again. He was dragging his shell into the sea. The moment the man's eyes met hers, it was like a call from within. He immediately rushed down to meet her. The red-haired woman looked at him, and then she pushed the shell into the distance. This may be her way of telling the man that she would stay on the island for good. The man looked at her back, and the rising sun. He came to the raft, which was not quite finished. He touched it and began to feel a tangle inside. A storm at sea had washed him to this island. He was able to survive, but he was bound to it like a cage. So the man has always wanted to leave, but now a woman's presence makes him feel this is a warm island, so he can say goodbye to the past without a second thought. It was a moment of freedom to let go of his obsession. The man suddenly realized that he was imprisoned by his own heart, and not this island. The woman saw his decision and swam over to him to communicate with him. The man was delighted like never before. He followed his figure to a small island. The woman